Hey there! So, twice last week, I talked about my identity. I covered a lot of the facets in a sort of introductory piece, and then I talked about all the ways in which I am queer. And so, today, I'd like to talk about my body, because my body is shit. But I can only say that because I have a body with a mouth and voice box and lungs. And I was going to talk about my mind, but you have to have even more background because you can't understand why I'm so frustrated without knowing what frustrates me. Deep breaths. So, I am physically disabled. Yeah. None of it is really obvious. I look healthy, but that doesn't mean that I am. I have hypoglycemia, some immune system and lung crap, brachioradiarenal syndrome, ehlers-danlos syndrome, borderline low iron/iron specific anemia, and other deficiencies, mild juvenile arthritis, chronic exhaustion, and chronic back pain from a bad fall in 5th grade. So, I guess I'll talk about some of these, right? Hypoglycemia is low blood sugar. Now, mine isn't medically low enough to actually be diagnosed as hypoglycemia. That's a blood sugar level of 70 or less, and I sit in the 70s. But because it's a chronic thing, and the only reason that it doesn't dip below that is that I eat immediately when I recognize the drop of sugar, I feel like I'm entitled to use the label. And so I do. And it communicates my need to eat certain things at certain times, and it's easier than being like, well, technically I'm not this, but basically I just say that I am. And no, it's not related to diabetes. I don't have diabetes, which is weird because most people do have diabetes with this thing, but I don't. I don't know what causes it. Nobody does. That's a theme. Anyway, so brachioradiarenal syndrome is something that involves the development of your throat, ears, and kidneys in utero. It's related to what's up next, which is a connective tissue disorder, but not exactly the same thing. My throat, fortunately, is not affected in any way, because that could be bad, and it is bad in other people, but not me. But it's why my ears are actually 2 different sizes. The ear canals in them are shaped differently from everyone else's. Most other people's go down and then up, and mine just go straight up, which is why I can't wear earbuds really well. They either fall out or hurt like heck, because my ear canals are built differently. And it's also why I have the beginnings of another ear canal in that hole in my ear, which you can't really see. But I promise you, it's like right there, that thing. Yeah, that's a hole in my ear. Was gonna be another ear canal. Isn't. You just have to clean it every once in a while, otherwise it gets infected. But perhaps most importantly, in fact, definitely most importantly, this is why I only have 1 kidney. So my kidneys in utero morphed together into 1 horseshoe kidney, which sounds kind of cool, but is kind of problematic because it stretches across my spine. And so if I get in a really bad car accident or do other things, my spine could cut the kidney in half, and then it won't work, and I will be kidneyless. which is not good. So it's also why I can't ride motorcycles or really do horseback riding, and why I'll never be able to donate a kidney. It's not that I don't like you, because I probably do like you if I'm telling you this stuff. Anyway. Ehlers-danlos syndrome, or EDS, because nobody knows how to pronounce Ehlers, including me, is a connective tissue disorder. It basically means that some of my joints overextend. I can do some weird stuff, none of which I feel like demonstrating. Sorry. But it also means that I can't support myself by my arms at the risk of my joints coming out of their sockets. Can't do karate anymore because my joints did come out of their sockets every time. And why I can't do push-ups, because my elbows, when you're stretched out like that, they overextend. And then they're out of joint and they get locked that way and can't put themselves back into joint. So I cannot go down. I can go up, but I can't go down. So while it's been really convenient in making me not have to do push-ups in PE, it's actually really dangerous, and I've just been really lucky not to experience it. I'm not lucky by having it. I'm lucky not to have had problems yet that are worse than having to stop karate and not being able to ride a motorcycle anyway. Up next is my iron deficiency. There's not much to say, except that it's right on the cusp of being labeled anemia, but it isn't anemia, and that I have to take prenatal strength of vitamins to get enough iron. Not just normal people multivitamins, but prenatal ones. I'm not pregnant, I swear. The amount of iron in a prenatal vitamin, fun fact, is enough to kill a 3-year-old. Fortunately, I am not 3. Anyway. Mild juvenile arthritis really just means that my joints hurt pretty badly, pretty frequently. Not much you can do about that, especially when you, me, have a pain tolerance so high that you only want to take pain medicine once the pain is too strong for over-the-counter pain medicine to be effective, and it's so frequent that you don't want to take prescription pain medicine because you don't want to potentially get addicted to that stuff, and Oxycontin is weird, man, weird. Anyway, the back pain is from when I fell in 5th grade, and it might be a microfracture. It might be a muscle thing, but I've had x-rays, and the point is nobody really knows. And it's been 6.5 years, and it still hurts, and it sucks. But not as much as what's up next, my favorite thing, my crap immune system and my crap lungs, yay. So, in December, I got a vaccine for hepatitis A, because in June I went to Guatemala and they're like, you need to be vaccinated, and I'm like, well, okay. Stupid. But I said, well, okay. And so I was vaccinated. And my body did not like this vaccine at all. My immune system all but just disappeared. It's gone. Well, it's not completely gone. Otherwise I'd probably be in the hospital right now, but like 3/4 of it just quit. It's gone. And so I contracted infection after infection rapidly. In fact, multiple infections at the same time. Most of them happen to be, like, congestion and, like, lung infections, which is always a pleasure. Especially when considering, this thing, apart from the diseases I contracted, started making my lungs hurt, and my windpipes hurt, and it hurt to breathe, and it was hard to breathe, much harder than it had been, like, in November, much harder than it had ever been, excluding when I was, like, 3, and had pneumonia when I was 3. Anyway, so, speaking of pneumonia, I contracted pneumonia in the end of January, and had it through the beginning of February. there was this 6-week period where I was averaging 1 day in class per week. And there was this 9-day period where I didn't leave my house at all. Just stay at home. It was great. By which I mean it was terrible. But in fact, my average for all of second semester was like 2 or 3 days per week. There was one 2-week period when I was doped up on prednisone. A great steroid. Really great. I wish they'd give me more. Where I made it every day for 2 weeks. But as soon as I got off that, it was back to suffering. Fun fact, I missed so much school that I had to repeat junior year. Yay! So that's why I'm a junior now. Yay. Was that not convincing? Are you not convinced I am ecstatic? Anyway, this thing gives me a lot of pain, and a lot of mucus, and a lot of frustration. I'm always sick with it, and I am always sick from at least 3 other diseases because my immune system cannot filter anything. And though it's been about 9 months now, nobody has answers. Nobody. So I'm back in school, trying to do better than last semester, being just as sick and even more frustrated. I'm just sick and tired, and sick of being tired, and tired of being sick. And this is not going away. It's only becoming worse. I couldn't make it to school on Tuesday. During, like, the first full week I had. It's not full, we had Friday off. Because the pain was so bad, among other things. And you know what? Most people don't really believe me. Sure, they'll say that they do, but the problem is this. I don't look sick. Sorry for not limiting myself to ease your perception of what disease ought to look like. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to use the hashtags AskAzariah or JamSession to get your questions answered in a video, or just message me on Twitter or Tumblr. I hope you have a great